I've actually already tried recording this the first time and it didn't work out. So here we are again. Yeah, let me do this whole speech again because intros are fun. Baby, you a bad girl, watch your mouth. This video that you're watching right now is not originally what I had planned. And this is also me getting into why it's taken me a while to put this video out. Not that I feel all that bad. I mean, I feel bad. I do feel bad, but I don't feel it. I don't put like too much pressure on myself. Listen, that's a whole other thing. What I'm trying to say is that I've been working on this other video for a month, it feels like. Well, actually, no, not even that it feels like it. It actually has been a month that I've been working on this one other video. And it just wasn't it, sis. It just wasn't it. It wasn't it. I tried my best. What is wrong with my speech right now? I'm stuttering more than usual. Am I nervous? I feel like it's been a while. It's been a while since I've filmed, and that's why I feel incredibly awkward. I mean, I don't know if you could tell how long it's been from the length of my hair by the structure of my room. Things have changed. If you go into my channel and scroll back, I don't recommend it, but if you have done that because there's nothing else to do during this time, you might have seen a video of mine called Love Simon Could Have Been Gayer, something like that. Apart from him being gay and his hypercritical view on killer video transitions, honestly, Simon, this is 1/6 slideshow, so you can suck it. There's not much else to unpack there. He's 17, he has perfect hair that defies all physics, wind trajectory, and gravity. He has parents like these.
Oh. Hey! Sorry, I didn't realize you were masturbating.
Yeah, very funny.
He has a healthy and appropriate amount of admiration towards black women.
Not because she's black. I love black women.
He's also friends with that brunette from 13 Reasons Why, but that's beside the point. When I had made that video, I was so happy about it that it was just the kind of style that I wanted to continue with maybe another movie or show. And that's initially what I wanted to do for Skam France Season 5. I'd already scripted the whole thing, and then I've rewatched Skam France Season 5 a bunch of times. And so I already have this whole script laid out of what it is that I wanted to say about it. And I don't know, like something about it just didn't feel right. Recently, I just decided, you know what, I'm just gonna pivot then. Why not just go back to what I am comfortable doing, what I usually do, which is talking to a inanimate object while trying to like argue with myself in my head, and then the show is just playing in the background. So I'm comfortable doing either, but for some reason, my earlier idea, the video that like I was working on for a month, just maybe it was because I was working on it for too long that the idea started to die in my head. And I wasn't as excited about it as I was when I'd initially hatched the idea. Essentially what I'm saying is that I get bored easily. And also that I can't speak. I'm just trying to convince myself that it's possible. Because in the past, when I have tried to sit down and try to film something, suddenly I'm out the door and I'm continuing the video the next day. But there shouldn't be a reason for me to do that now. There shouldn't. So, this is awkward. When I filmed that intro, because yes, this is a completely different day, I did not account for naps. Like, yeah, I can't leave the house, but I can still nap. Well, actually, no, I had to work my shift because I work from home, and then I napped. 2 weekends have passed since. Well, no, maybe like 1 weekend. Would have been funnier though if it was like 2 weekends. Is 2 weekends a fortnight? Oh my god! I could have... it's fine. Whatever. Fuck, I'm not over it. So yeah, I'm filming... I'm a mess, bitch. Like, whatever. Did you expect anything more, anything less? I'm gonna grab a drink because, bro, like, when I started filming this video, when I did that intro, there was a liquor ban. And the gap between that video, filming that, and then filming this now, the liquor ban has been lifted. So I can now, alcohol available to me. I have like the access given to me. Now I can like alcohol, go. You know what I mean? Maybe in some small way, the reason why I did wait was not out of my own volition. It wasn't because I had to nap. It wasn't because I had other priorities. It wasn't because I had other commitments. Maybe it was because I needed the liquor ban to be lifted. Get it lifted. And then when that happens, now I can be in front of you the right amount of drunk. Maybe. I mean, I'm not even drunk yet. Honestly, there's like no difference. All right. Well, let's watch Skam. That's what you're here for. Fuck yeah. Oh my god. This brings back memories from last month. Remember when this clip dropped and I lost my mind? I remember being like lost it twice. Losing it a second time was like the worst. Oh, there it goes. The hearing. Snatched. I love this so much. You know, the reason why I'm watching it through headphones now is because I didn't before. Like, it took me a couple of episodes to actually watch the show with headphones. And I feel like it was such a missed opportunity to watch it for the first time, experience it for the first time with headphones on, because, you know, they've utilized this tool, audio, which I feel is like something that, in the grand scheme of things, when it comes to viewing media, it's widely overlooked. I mean, obviously, unless you're like recording something from a potato, people aren't going to notice audio. So I really enjoy that level of detail with Skam France, where they are making a season about an invisible disability that has to do with audio, so they use it to its full advantage. Again, okay, I'm going off right now. When it comes to shows like this, I'm all over it. Where God is in the details, I can't look away. This is the kind of stuff like that I want to cut it up and like put it into rows, like little lines, and then just, you know what I mean? Because I really like character-driven stories. The difficulty with that is like it isn't for everyone, because it can easily drag on or devolve into something uninteresting, you know, depending on your character. And like the writing, and, you know, for visual series and drama like Skam France, the actor plays a huge part. And this is also why I was so excited to find out that Arthur would be, Arthur would be the lead for Skam France season 5, because I always found him engaging. He was a fan favorite 2 seconds into his introduction in that one clip. I mean, yeah, he was cute. That was the initial pull. But cute isn't enough to carry a season, let alone an episode. But thankfully, Arthur has so much more going on for him. So yeah, what was my original point? I was going off. Oh, right. My original point is like, I love character-driven stories. Skam France is the kind of show that pays attention to the little things, but audio is like, it's all around. And I just like how they took that into account and like used it almost as another character in the series. Fun. Love that for them. Love that for me. Love that for us. Like, thank you, Skam France. By the way, this is gonna be a long ass video, so grab a snack. I don't know if I said that in the beginning, but yeah, this is gonna be a long video. Yeah, there's a lot to be appreciated about season 5. Alternatively, there are also things that I feel like have to be you know, put into the forefront, and it's hard for me to talk about it because I've stopped watching season 6 because I decided that, you know what, I'm gonna make videos for that and I'm gonna do the typical reactions. So I don't know where we're at in that story, if any plots have already overlapped between season 5 and season 6 or any of the other seasons. I don't know what's happening in season 6, but I decided that still I would like to talk about certain things about season 5 that did kind of leave me a bit like, ooh, like so we're gonna talk about that later. I have like both a pros and a cons list. Also, I will only be including in this review / reaction just the show itself, not the social media, none of that. Reason being is because I feel like Skam France no longer or at least the way that I view Skam France no longer falls into the category of visual media that makes me feel so immersed that these are real people. For me, Skam France is a cinematic viewing experience. Like, honestly, I've said this time and time again in the past, and even after having viewed season 5, when I saw the trailer for season 6, like, Skam France is a movie. It really is. Like, the production value and the way that it looks aesthetically, the way that it's presented and cut. And the reason why I feel like it was so much better for Skamog is because Skamog did feel more like I was a fly on the wall viewing the lives of these different people, whereas with Skam France it really is just, it's a movie to me, so I don't need to feel immersed. I don't need to put it in my head like these are real people, and that doesn't have to be a bad thing. I hope that doesn't come off like this doesn't feel like that real, there's like a lack of realism. I don't mean that in a bad way. Like, that's one of the things that I like the most about Skam France is it's a remake that has gone off into its own style and tonality, and its tone is very different from Skam. I feel like I've over-explained it, but at the same time haven't explained it enough. I just don't want people to find offense in either of those cinematic styles. I feel like I've said cinematic experience too many times, but that's the only word that I can think of right now for Skam France. Like, I appreciate something that's more like real looking, but I also appreciate something that's more cinematic. Both are amazing in their own right. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay.
J'ai eu un coup de chaud parce que je t'ai regardé et tu connais mon attirance pour toi, du coup je suis sorti prendre l'air.
The fact that these two never actually got together, I'm so upset. The fact that Basile didn't like ask Arthur to just like man up, bro. Like, you've been flirting with me all year. Do you love me? I'm just kidding, by the way. Basile and Arthur is like they have some of my favorite friendship scenes together. The fact that they're like so heavily featured in season 5 put incredible amounts of depth into both of their characters, which is amazing to me because both of these characters started out as like comic reliefs. Essentially, they were very superficial characters, and then suddenly they've got levels to them, and they're pretty supportive, and they don't give a fuck about toxic masculinity. Fuck that shit. Throw that out the window. Check your toxic masculinity out the door before you enter this friendship. Like, that was Arthur and Basile throughout this entire thing. The most powerful, like one of the most powerful friendships I've ever seen on screen, and I love it so much. And we're gonna circle back to that later, because one of the things that I do want to talk about throughout this whole thing is a comparison between romance and something platonic and friendly. And I want to talk about how those two things, the roles that they play in certain shows, especially teen shows, and why is it that one of them holds more value than another, or one is viewed as more impactful or completes a storyline more so than the other. We'll get back to that later. I've talked over an entire clip, bitch. It is him. I know his name. I think it's like Patrick.
Carrément ma chambre.
Patrick, c'est pour Carole, s'il te plaît.
I know his name. I know. I've heard it once, and I remember his name. But I'm going to refer to him throughout this entire video as Voldemort. We're calling him Voldy for obvious reasons. Arthur's stepfather... He's not a stepfather. No, that was wishful thinking. Sorry. Arthur's dad just goes down the list of attributes of a typical villain and just checks everything off one by one in every clip that he's in. Like, he is a piece of fucking work. We're gonna get into something that I'm gonna pretend that you haven't seen the show. We're gonna get into something really major later in the season that involves his dad, that involves Arthur, and we're gonna talk about that in depth later on. But first of all, just the introduction of his dad here in this scene is like, oh my god, just so antagonistic without even trying. When he touched Arthur's shoulder in this scene, look at this. Touches his shoulder, Arthur winces. The beginning, when I saw that in my initial viewing, I was thinking to myself, oh, look at his cute little wince. Insert video clip here. That's so cute. I'm sorry, I'm about to replay something that's irrelevant to the story, but just that tiny little... Can someone say baby energy? B-A-B-I-E? I still hold that opinion to this day. I think Arthur wincing is a masterpiece, but we're gonna get off of that so that I can be a professional fangirl. If you have already finished watching all of Skam France Season 5, then you would know that one of the major plot points here is that Arthur's dad turns out to be an abuser. There are two ways to view this TV show, right? One is pre-abuse, and then the other is post-abuse. So the latter viewings of my experience with Skam France have been post-abuse. So now, the way that I watch the show, little things that went over my head upon the initial viewing scream so loudly to me now, knowing what I know. When he winces after his dad touches his arm, I'm like, oh my god, that makes so much fucking sense. The way that his dad touched, and it's so quiet. It's not even like a big thing. It's not even Arthur like going off and be like, don't touch me, no. It was just a very quiet way of like rejecting his dad's touch, which again, like just makes sense for how it unfolds in the end. But also, like, I also want to touch on that later in the video. He makes a comment about the Christmas decoration still being up. Bitch. Skam France Season 5 came out in January. Fucking January. Like, do you not listen to Taylor Swift? You can leave the Christmas lights up. Till January. I'm going off too many times in this. I'm just saying, like, I hate this guy. What kind of asshole? What kind of ass?
Entre ça, la réforme de la PACES, la fin du numerus clausus, t'as vraiment l'impression que c'est un peu...
Yeah, that's also something that I wanted to talk about when I was writing my script down, is the thing about like communication and how there's like a complete breakdown of communication with Arthur and his father as established in the beginning in this scene. Arthur already has hearing problems. Communication also, just as a thing that humans do, is imperfect by design. It doesn't need any fucking help in becoming imperfect, because even when you have a perfect, like, streamlined means of communicating with a person, there is still a lot of room to be misunderstood. There's still a lot of room for things to get lost in translation, even if you speak the same language. It's a thing. So the fact that between Arthur and his dad, like, his hearing is just like, peace, I'm out, every time his dad is talking to him, that's a breakdown in communication. It really hinders any sort of trust that's supposed to develop between the two of them, which I guess, again, plays into the whole, like, abuse thing that's happening, or that has happened in Arthur's past with his dad. I nearly touched my eyeball and that kind of scared me. Anyway. Oh, I love this clip. I love this clip for so many reasons. Number one, the introduction of Alexia and Arthur as an actual couple, and not just like kissing in the background randomly. Like, no, they're an actual couple. They're a thing. They followed through. This mere exchange of this is great because it speaks volumes about their dynamic to begin with. Arthur here already has like the next 10 years of his life because, you know, he's going to go to medical school and then he wants to do a specialization, which is surgery. That basically that means that the next 10 years, the next decade of his life is already laid out, like all of the plans. Whereas with Alexia, she could be here the next year, she could be here the next. Like, she has so many options. She's incredibly talented. She has all the time in the world. She has all of the opportunities as well to just like explore. Dora. She has all of the opportunities and the time in the world to just Dora her way through life. And that's why I feel like in this very moment, in this scene, Alexia becomes everything that Arthur wished he'd had, everything that he wished he could do in his life is Alexia in this moment. Alexia represents the future that Arthur can't even think about wishing for because it's so far beyond his reach, which is why what he does in the scene is he, you know, fucks her. He fucks his future. Because if he can't have it, at least he can stick his dick in it. Commentary is fun. I can't believe I'm sweating right now. Like, I actually feel sweat forming on my face. I am sweating while talking about Skam France. Checks out. Oh, this scene, bitch. Oh my god. Character introductions is pretty important to me. I feel like there are different ways that you can introduce a character and at the same time have that introduction strengthen what that character is, who that character is, I mean, and what they represent. And the way that a character is introduced is pretty important to me because it's essentially the first impression. So it's like any other meeting that you've had in your life with a new person. And the way that Noi is introduced, and oh my god, let's just play it. Let's watch it. Arthur feels discomfort in the sound of this whistle. It doesn't jive with him. Jive! I haven't heard that word in such a long time. I'm 50 years old. It doesn't jive with him. So, Arthur decides that he's gonna sink to the bottom of this pool where he feels a semblance of security. And who the fuck is there to greet him, bitch? None other than Noi. And then this song starts playing. This is like, I just love that. I love that in moments where, you know, there has to be some sort of impact implemented in a scene. What Skam France does for season 5 is either it's dead silent, the high-pitched tone, or in this case, for Noi, they use music, which is pretty interesting. The first time he sees her, music plays in his head, because remember, we're viewing this from Arthur's point of view. So this isn't just like a random, like, music is playing out of nowhere. It's incorporated into his character, into his being. So we hear what he hears. So when he sees her for the first time in a place where he's feeling safe, He actually... Oh, by the way, can I just like turn on my Emma appreciation camera right now? Let's activate it. It's activated. I love Emma for so many reasons. I don't know if I've expressed that enough. I probably haven't, but I would be remiss to not mention it at least once. Emma, in this scene, was about to tear Elliot a new one. These girls were willing to die. They were trying to blow smoke up Elliot's ass. They were gonna take it to their graves, guys. They were gonna be like, oh, it looks great, super supportive. But no, Emma, like, look at her fucking face in this frame. That is the face of someone that is 2 seconds away from going the fuck in. And I feel like Elliot sensed that that was the case because he's like, he's a Cancer, and you know, that's what Cancers are. They're very emphatic, like, as you know. So he just like outs himself and is like, oh, I'm just kidding. Bitch, I'm kidding. So Emma was like, oh, okay. Thank God. Because this looks like shit. Oh my God, love you.
Nous évitera, comme la dernière fois, d'avoir 3 tonnes de bouffe à jeter. Et puis, bah, voilà, merci.
You know, it's really funny. Like, one of my friends said about this. She was like, why didn't they just like keep the food? Why did they have to throw it out? Why did they throw it out in the first place? What a waste of food. I get that, but in my headcanon now is that maybe Elliot smashed something and then it ruined the food. Like there was glass in the food or something. You know what, Elliot? I got you, baby. Like, I'm gonna defend Elliot. I'm not Emma. I'm not as cool as Emma. There's no way that I'm going to be like tearing into Elliot. Elliot is my precious baby. Anything that he does or says, I'm gonna be like, yep, that is correct. Okay, I'm gonna skip this part because no. My favorite part about the way episode 1 ends is just how everything is shot and done. Like, every creative decision in episode 1, I cannot disagree with. And I like how Arthur, in this moment, if you see, I'm skipping through it, which I know is blasphemy, but I wanted to show you this ending scene where Arthur just kind of looks around, realizes that his hearing has completely gone, and his whole world has changed. So episode 1 for me, I feel like, just lays out the groundwork really seamlessly for episode 5. Well, season 5. Sorry, what's happening? I'm too drunk for this. I had 1 drink. Already they have their work cut out for them, because I feel like disability, invisible disabilities, as an overarching theme is already a lot. Like, if you're gonna have that as a main dish, and then as side dishes you have like a love triangle, you have dealing with your friendships in general and acceptance within, you know, the group that you have, and then finding new friends that are more in tune with the shit that you're going through. All of these side dishes and then that main dish, like, the table is fucking set, bitch. Like, so much is already gonna happen. I'm full. We've got like a 5-course meal for the next 10 days. Like, we're good. So this next portion in the video, I'm just gonna be talking about the love triangle between Noi and Arthur and Alexia. I think if you look to my previous videos, I was pretty hesitant, to say the least, when it came to like a romantic plot developing between Arthur and Noi. But eventually, at certain episodes, the chemistry did win me over. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I can't even lie if I wanted to. You'll be able to see it in my past videos. I fell for that shit hard because they had such incredible chemistry together. I think it was somewhere in between them exchanging loving looks while rollerblading throughout all of Paris. I'm not even sure if I fell in love with them or if I fell in love with Paris, but something about those clips got me all messed up in the head, and I like started catching feelings. And this is what I was talking about earlier about like romantic plot points being a wrap up or a way to engage people more into a series or a story, as opposed to just having very strong friendships around them. Because I have certain doubts. I have certain things that I don't really understand about why. Okay. Why is it that Arthur and Alexia had to break up in the first place is so... Hi, I grabbed a snack. It's seaweed. I want this with eggplant. Oh my god, am I gonna fry up some eggplants later? I should. So yeah, as I was saying, I don't really know why they had to break up. I don't know why Arthur... Here's a major thing. I don't know why Arthur had to fall in love with Nui in the first place. Why couldn't they have just been friends? Like, yeah, somewhere along the line, I fell in love with their chemistry, but also, by the end, by episode 10, actually episode 9, episode 10, especially that scene where Nui admitted her love, she professed her love to Arthur in that one scene where Arthur got hit by a fucking car. Y'all know the one. By the end, I went back to my earlier thoughts of like, why did they have to fall in love in the first place? As demonstrated by Basile and Arthur, a strong friendship can be just as engaging. It can be just as impactful. Like that scene, bro, where they, oh my God, when I tell you I cried when Basile came over and they had that talk, the two of them. Like, I still tear up every time I watch that scene. In the second viewing and the third viewing. Whenever I watch that scene of the two of them together, I, like, lose my goddamn shit. I'm just like, this is one of the best friendships I've ever seen on TV, especially between two guys. Like, it's very rare. You'll see two girls, a guy and a girl, like, having a pretty good friendship, but two guys being that supportive towards one another, it's a rare thing. It's not something you see all the time. You know, in episode 10, Arthur kind of spells it out. He says that he doesn't regret falling in love with Nui because it made him realize how unhappy he was with himself. He doesn't want to have to choose between two people that he loves, which parallels how he doesn't know if he likes the hearing world or the non-hearing world better. I would argue that all of this could have gone down as like the same, with the same kind of drama, the same kind of like impact, if Arthur and Nui stayed friends. There didn't have to be a love triangle. Why do I feel like that's grammatically incorrect? There doesn't have to be. There was no need for a love triangle. There you go. If you disagree with me about Arthur and Nui, if you disagree with me at all about the romantic side and why it was important that they fell in love, answer me this. What about their conversation and their relationship required them to be romantically involved in order for it to happen? What did they do in season 5 that would not have been accomplished if they were not in love? Because everything already that was happening in all of season 5 was too much to handle. And then on top of that, by the end, by whatever episode, suddenly abuse. Also, earlier when I was talking about how characters are introduced into a show, yes, that's important, but equally as important is how information is introduced in order to push a plot forward. Introduction of information is equally as important. And I know you know that. And I don't have to stress that enough, but I am going to do it anyways because me. In like the last 2 episodes, I think it was like the last 2 episodes of season 5. I could be wrong on that. Like editor Noah will correct me, I'm sure, but they introduced this information to us that Arthur, again, another brain fart, also I'm burping, was abused by his father, like physically abused. And as a result, that's how he was deaf in his left ear for 2 years now. That's why Arthur hesitated talking about it to his doctor, because the doctor was friends with his father. This is why Arthur didn't talk about that reason with anyone else. It was because it was connected to a traumatic experience in his life. I don't know how to express this correctly, because I don't at all want to minimize certain issues. I don't ever want to say that one is more important than another, because I don't want to be like tone deaf or insensitive on purpose to certain people. So please know, the way that I'm talking about this, please note, is just from a storytelling perspective. If you look at Skamog, if you have watched Skamoji from Norway, the way that they would present certain vital information that is imperative to the plot and still pretty heavy, the way that they would talk about it is not through flashbacks. A lot of times, like a pretty good example of this is season 3 of Skamog, where Isak was talking about, you know, the difficulties in his life prior to having met Evan. And those difficulties would include his mom having a mental illness and him realizing it, running away, going to a gay bar, getting blackout drunk, essentially homeless, and then being picked up by Eskild. So all of that is already pretty impactful, and it makes sense for us to know this. But it doesn't pull away from what is currently happening in the scene, because they do not use flashbacks, and this is pretty important. So for Arthur in his scene, when they did a full ass flashback of the time of the abuse, it was so fucking brutal that it was all I could think about because of that dramatic, like just the impact of seeing it, of hearing Arthur scream throughout that entire thing. It was so much. It pulls so much focus from the actual scene, from the thing that's happening, and then out of nowhere, after that story is being told, suddenly Noi is kissing him. So it's like so many things being stacked upon. It's editor Noah, also known as Sober Noah. I know what I was trying to say here, but bitch did not get to say it well because she was wasted. Okay, what I'm trying to say here is that it's almost kind of sneaky the way that the information about Arthur being abused was juxtaposed with him going outside of his relationship, betraying Alexia, and then going ahead and kissing Noi. Also within the same episode that Noi had expressed a not so great relationship that she had with her father. It's almost as if they're using this abuse storytelling to cradle the fact that Arthur is about to do wrong. It's to support it and make you feel bad for him, so that once he does find or seek comfort outside of his relationship, we'll all still take his side. I don't know if any of this is making as much sense as I would like it to. Currently to me it is, because I'm drunk and I'm talking to drunk me, but I don't know if editor Noah is going to be able to make sense of any of this, and she's sober and she's great. Again, all of these things, I don't know if they're overlapping with season 6. I don't know if any of these are going to be resolved by season 6. Anyway, I don't know if this is like the video that you expected. I know people wanted me to watch the finale, which I did. I watched Skam France season 5, like episode 10, season 5. I did that. And obviously I had thoughts about it, and I have said before, and I want to uphold that I don't ever want to just like pretend to like a thing. So overall, what I want to say about Skam France season 5 is that I'm so happy that it happened. I think it's great that they're finding a lot of success, and now there's a season 6, which by the way, I am excited to consume. I still love Skam France. Just because there were things about season 5 that I didn't necessarily agree with doesn't mean that, you know, I hate the show as a whole. Like, no, it's fine. I do not demand perfection out of shows. The only thing I demand out of shows is Elliot and bisexuality, but mostly Elliot. If a show doesn't have Elliot, automatically that's 1 point down. Like, that's how Skam France has changed my life. That said, I've already seen like episode 1 of Skam France season 6, and I'm excited to see the rest. And I hate that it's almost over. I don't even want to talk about it. I can't believe I mentioned it just then. Like, fucking shoot me. But that's what I have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to watch more, feel free to subscribe. I am going to be, just so we're clear, I am going to be reacting to episodes for season 6. Once again, for the people in the fucking back, I will be making videos for season 6 of Skam France. I love the show. I want to continue to support it and promote it, and the team is amazing, and good work, guys. Like this, I mean, I'm excited for season 6 because the trailer was fucking intense as hell. I'm gonna be doing episodes 1 all through whatever. I think we're currently at like episode 5 is airing as of filming this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the flip.